Welcome to this course titled A Digital Notebook for CPAs, Microsoft OneNote Overview. My name is Joe Hellstrom and I will be your presenter. I'm a relatively new user of OneNote. I tried it and was impressed by the features and the productivity gained by having all my notes and thoughts in one place. Before OneNote, I was using lists in the Notes application of my phone, lists on an Excel spreadsheet, as well as notes written on sticky notes and pieces of paper. Using OneNote, I've got everything in one place, and I've got various means of organizing my notes, and more importantly, searching my notes for that one piece of information that I need right now. Microsoft OneNote is a software application that mimics the structure of a paper notebook. Think of it as a virtual three-ring binder. The notebook itself is for big things like a project, business planning, or annual client tax planning. These are potential titles of your three-ring binder in the paper world. Within each notebook is a section. These are the same as the tabs in a paper notebook. These represent subdivisions of the notebook. Using the earlier examples, if the notebook was for business planning, there may be a section for sales, another for marketing, another for production, etc. If the notebook was for annual client tax planning, there may be a section for 1040 clients, another for partnership clients, and another for corporate clients. Lastly, there are pages in the notebook. This is where the actual thoughts and ideas are captured. Each page has a header so that individual pages can be organized. OneNote allows you to type notes, handwrite notes, and also permits you to copy snippets from the internet, as well as copy Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and other files for reference. Notes can easily be organized into bulleted or numbered lists. They can be tagged, and they can be highlighted. This course uses OneNote 2016 that comes with Microsoft Office 365. If you don't have OneNote 2016, we'll be going over some features that won't be available to you. There are free versions of OneNote that work on smartphones and tablets. These don't have all the features of the PC version of OneNote 2016, and the menus are quite a bit different. Creating notebooks, sections, and pages is covered first in the course. Navigating between pages, sections, and notebooks is also covered in the first portion of the course. An understanding of this is an essential part of the OneNote experience. After this, the various methods of taking notes in OneNote are discussed, including typing notes, using tags, using bullet points, using numbered lists, copying information from the internet, inserting information from Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other files, as well as using handwritten text and drawings. Lastly, some cool features of OneNote are overviewed, including the ability to add color to a page or section tabs, password protect a section, search within a notebook for a keyword or phrase, share a notebook with others, as well as the use of quick notes. Because of the ease of organizing notes, myriad types of information that can be stored, and the ability to search and share notebooks, OneNote is a great organizational tool. This course provides the basics for using OneNote. Everyone has different organizational methods. After this course, you should have a good idea of the possible productivity enhancements gained by using this tool in your professional life. OneNote can be accessed from Windows in two different ways. The first is using the Start button and selecting the OneNote application from a list of all apps. The second is to use a keyboard shortcut. Some people like a menu structure, others like shortcuts. We'll review both ways. First, let's switch to a screen view so that everything may be demonstrated in a clearer fashion. Now that we have a screen view, let's talk about accessing OneNote from the Start menu. From the Start menu, which is down here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, just press that. And you'll see a variety of options, but we want the option called All Apps. So click on All Apps, and you have an alphabetic listing of all your applications. We're going to go down to the O's, and we are going to select OneNote 2016. There's also an option built in to access OneNote from a keyboard shortcut. The keyboard shortcut is the Windows button, which is the button with the Windows logo on it on your keyboard, plus the Shift button, plus the letter N. If you press all these three keys simultaneously, the OneNote application will open. We're going to open it though just using the Start button, and we're going to click on OneNote 2016. The first thing we want to do is create a notebook. To create a notebook, you start with the File button on the upper left-hand portion of the screen. Click on File button, and since there are no new notebooks open, it's going to default to New. If it doesn't default to New, we want to select the New option here. And then we have to choose where we want to save the file. We've got two options here. We've got OneDrive and we've got Save it on this PC. OneDrive is Microsoft's cloud storage option. We're going to learn later that if you want to share your notebook interactively with other people, you have to save the notebook on OneDrive. For right now, though, for demonstration purposes, we're going to save the notebook on this PC. So select this PC, and we'll just name the notebook OneNote Course. After we've named the notebook, this button becomes activated, and we can do it. And so once we're satisfied that everything's done correctly, click on Create Notebook. We have just created our first notebook. One thing to talk about here is saving your work. There is no Save button or option on OneNote to save your work. OneNote saves everything automatically in the background. It's a continuous save feature, and it means that you should have no worries about losing notes as you're working. Now, we've chosen to save this particular file on our PC. That means this file is going to be continuously saved on the personal computer hard drive. Now, it is saved in a separate file folder called OneNote, but it is continuously saved. You don't need to do anything to save it. There is no save feature, no save option in OneNote. The other thing you'll notice is we've got section tabs, which are right here, and then we've got a place for the page header, and that is right here. If you want to add a page, you click the plus button right here, and here is the display of the particular page name you're looking at. Let's first talk about naming sections. To name a section, you can double-click on the Section tab, and you see it becomes editable. In this example, let's assume that this Section tab relates to tax clients. And we want to have our first section called 1040 clients. So we're going to name this particular section 1040 clients. And that's all you need to do. Click anywhere else. Your section tab now becomes 1040 clients. If you want to rename this, simply right-click on your mouse and you have the rename option for the section. To name the page, you have to name the page in the page header, which is right here in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Assuming these are 1040 clients, we might want to have a different page for notes for each 1040 client. Let's name this particular page John Doe. As you can see, the John Doe name now shows up in our page name box. So we've now got a section called 1040 clients and one page in the section that we have named John Doe. To add sections, you simply click the plus button here, and there's a new section and you can see it's editable. We don't have to double click right now. And we can add a new section. Let's call this new section Partnership Clients. We now have a new section and a blank page for that section. Let's go back to the first section we created called 1040 Clients, and let's add a page to that section. Let's say we've currently got a page for John Doe as a 1040 client, but we want to add a page for another 1040 client called Sam Smith. Go here and click the plus button to add the page, and in the page header, we are going to name it Sam Smith. So under 1040 clients, we now have two pages, one for John Doe, one for Sam Smith. Navigating between sections and pages is very easy. If you want to go between 1040 clients and partnership clients, click on the relative section tabs. In terms of navigating between pages, to go from Sam Smith to John Doe, click on John Doe, and you're now on John Doe's page. To go from John Doe to Sam Smith, click on Sam Smith, and you're now on Sam Smith's page. This digital notebook concept for pages in particular is a little more difficult to grasp. As we explained earlier, the digital notebook, think of it like a 3-ring binder. So the notebook is the big 3-ring binder. The section tabs are like the paper tabs within the 3-ring binder, and these pages represent the paper that goes within each section. So every time you click on a new page name, it's like thumbing through a different sheet of paper within the section. Now the pages themselves in OneNote don't have a standard display length. So you could keep taking notes on one really, really long page if you wanted to do so. The page name and the page concept is really just to help you organize your thoughts. Like every other Microsoft Windows application, there's a menu ribbon at the top of the screen. Underneath the menu ribbon are commands. We've got some options as it relates to displaying both the menu ribbon and the commands. There is a button up at the top that is a menu display option. If you click this button, you can either auto hide the ribbon, you can show just the menu tabs, or you can show the tabs and commands. If we auto hide the ribbon, nothing is displayed at the top. You've got a full screen. If you just show the menu tabs appear, and when you click on the menu tabs, the commands then appear below it. You also have the option then of showing the menu tabs and the commands. Many times when OneNote is first opened, the option is just to have the menu tabs displayed. And then once again, as you click on them, the commands appear. When you click on it, you can also pin this open. There's a small pin on the right-hand side. So in addition to using the menu display option button, or the ribbon display option button, you can also pin it open. And if we click on the pin it open, now it is open as well. If you decide you don't want the commands to be opened, you can click on this little up button to collapse the ribbon. Or once again, you can use the ribbon display option button at the top of the screen. Since we're going to work with both the menu tabs and the commands, we want to elect the option of show tabs and commands. Now, we also could have done this by pinning it open on the right-hand side. We're using the ribbon display options button to keep it open. It's tempting in a course like this to go through each individual menu tab and go over the features. I think it's more interesting, though, in this case, just to start taking notes. So the first thing we're going to do is learn how to take notes. Now in OneNote, when you take notes, you can type the notes, you can handwrite the notes. Now you can handwrite them using a mouse, or if you've got a touch screen, it's much easier to handwrite them. Or if you've got a stylus on a touch screen, that makes it even easier. You've got options such as bullet points, numbered lists. You've got tags such as to do, critical, an idea, important that you can use. And if you do take your notes by hand, there's also a handy ink to text option that converts your handwriting to typed text. We're going to go over all this, but first let's just start with basic typed notes. Under John Doe in the section 1040 clients, let's just click anywhere on the screen and let's put in the sentence, John Doe is married with 3 kids. We've typed in this sentence, and this is our first note. The typed note is contained within a note container. Now, the note container can be dragged anywhere you want to on the screen by placing the cursor over the little buttons there in the middle of the note container. So we can put it anywhere on the screen we want after we've typed it. We can also format this note should we wish to do so. If we want that note to be bold, we can make it bold. If we want to put a title on the note, we can insert a couple of spaces and we can title that client information. We can underline the title of client information and use just about any formatting that's also available to us on Microsoft Word. We can make this font larger if we wish. So we can make this font a 14-point font to accentuate it. We also have the option of changing the font color if we wish by highlighting a piece of the text and going to the font color button, and we can change that to a nice blue color if we want, or we could change it to a nice green color if that's more pleasant. So you have a myriad of formatting options here. The next thing we want to cover is using bullet points. Click anywhere to the right of the note container, and there is a button, a command button called bullets. Let's create a bulleted list about John Doe. So we're going to press that. You see the note container, and we're going to indicate that John Doe is a W-2 employee. We press enter and a new bullet appears. His employer does not provide health insurance. Press enter and a new bullet appears. The employer has no retirement plan. Press enter and another bullet, and that he has rental property. As you can see, we've got a nice bulleted list. Now, there is also a bullet shortcut if you don't want to use the bullet command button on the top of the screen. If you want to, you can enter in an asterisk and then a space bar, and once again, you've got a bulleted list. And you just enter your items in. And as with the using the command button for bullet points, just press enter and another bullet point appears. You also have the option to use numbered lists. To use a numbered list, click anywhere on the note page and press the numbering command button. and it starts with the number 1, and we can use the same information. Press enter, and the number automatically increments. There is a shortcut for the numbered list, and that shortcut is if you start out with 1, you press a 1 and a period, and it now becomes a numbered list again. Once again, you type in your note, you simply press enter to increment the numbers upward. Now remember, you can move these note containers around the page, however you wish. You find these little 4 dots in the middle of the note container and hover your cursor over them. You grab it with your cursor and you can drag it anywhere you want to drag it. OneNote has a pretty neat option, and that's the option to add tags to notes or list. They've got a lot of different tags you can add. The first tag here in the tag command box is to do. You can also tag something as important as a question. We'll use the down arrow to get to more. You can tag it as remember for later, a definition. You can highlight it. You can remember as a contact and address, an idea, a password, something that's critical, or you can also label it as a project. There are a number of tags that you can use. Tagging something is actually pretty easy. Let's say that by W2 employee, we want to put a to-do checkbox next to that. We're going to just click the mouse anywhere in the line W2 employee, and then we're going to go up and click the to-do item in the command tag box. If you want to check that as being done, you simply press to do again, and now it's checked. If you want to have the whole thing go away, you press to do again. Everything just cycles through. Let's tag a couple of these items just to demonstrate how the tags work. We'll select W2 employee and tag that with a to-do checkbox. We'll then select employer does not provide health insurance and tag that as an important item. We'll select employer has no retirement plan and tag that as a question. And then we'll select has rental property and tag that as something that's critical. Notes or lists can have more than one tag. If the employer has no retirement plan list item is both a question and is important, we can select that item, scroll up to the important tag, and click important, and you see now both tags appear. Tags are searchable, and that's one of the cool features of OneNote. You can search by tags. You do this using the Find Tags feature. So if you click on Find Tags, you will show there's a tag summary, and it shows the items that are marked by tags by the tag marking. If you click on these, it will take you to the particular note that has that tag. So it's a really neat feature in OneNote that you can search by the tags and find tags and go directly to them. If you're performing research or find interesting items on the internet, it's easy to copy and paste this information into OneNote. Information pasted from the internet will automatically include the link to the source of information. This makes it easier to find that information again and to use as a reference. You're not limited to copying just text. You can also copy pictures. As an example, let's assume we want to search for IRS guidance on transactions between partners and partnerships as a note for one of your 1040 clients who's called ABC Partnership. Let's go to OneNote and click on the section tab labeled Partnership Clients. And let's create a page called ABC Partnership. We now have a page. Let's assume we've done some research and we found IRS publication 541 on the internet, and we want to copy a portion of that publication into this note. I've already found it in the internet, so I'm going to go over to the internet and I'm going to copy the section on this publication, Transactions Between Partnership and Partners, and I'm going to copy it from the internet into OneNote. We've now got the copied information in a text box, but you'll note it also has a link to where the information came from. That's really the neat part about it. Once again, it's in a note container. You can go to the center of the top of the note container, hover your cursor over it, click, and you can drag this anywhere you want to on the page. Once the information's been pasted into OneNote, you can highlight relevant portions. So if you just wanted to highlight the information on item number 1 here, we can use our cursor and select it, and then pick the text highlight color button and highlight it in yellow. Now we can also press the down arrow here and use any highlight color we want. I'm being pretty conventional and just picking yellow as a highlight color. Since OneNote is a Microsoft application, you can also easily copy and paste between Excel, Word, and other Microsoft applications. Microsoft OneNote also allows you to insert a file printout or attach a file from Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, as well as Adobe Acrobat files. You can also do this with Excel files, but Excel offers a few more options that are available, so we're going to cover that separately. As an example, assume we've got a Microsoft Word document, and this document just has one sentence in it. And the sentence is, ABC Partnership was formed on December 31, 1999. We've named this document Word Example, and we want to put a printout of this file into our note. So we're going to click on the bottom of the screen, and we are going to go to File Printout, and click the File Printout button on the Insert menu, once again using the File Printout command button. We're going to pick the Word file called Word Example and insert it. It has now been inserted. You can see the text here is ABC Partnership was formed in 1999. We also have an icon that indicates the file, a copy of the file itself has also been attached. So in using the file printout option, we get both a file attachment and a printout of the file. The advantages of getting a printout of the file is it's searchable. So within OneNote, this is searchable if you've got a file printout. If you just have a copy of the file and just the icon is displayed, then it's not searchable. That's the upside to using file printout. The downside to using file printout is you've got the entire page. Even though we just have one sentence on this entire document, we're getting we're taking up an entire page of our notes. And it's formatted that way, so if we tried to compress it, such as this, you can see compression impacts the way the text reads. So the upside of using file printout is that it's searchable text. The downside is that you're kind of stuck with the way the page is formatted in your note. I'm going to undo this and show you the difference between this and putting in a file attachment. If I select file attachment and once again use the Word example and click insert, it's going to ask me if I want to attach a file or insert a printout. With the file printout option, we got both. With this one, I can pick one or the two. So in this case, I'm going to attach the file. Here you've got the icon and you've got the file attached to the note. If you wanted to see what was in it, you could double click on the icon. You're going to get a warning that says if you don't trust the person who created the document, don't open it. I trust this, so I'm going to click on OK. And we'll go into Microsoft Word, and it says ABC Partnership was formed in 1999. Once again, with just the file attachment on there, this is not searchable. When you use a file printout or have a file attachment, your presumption may be that these are interactive with the original document. It is not interactive. This is a copy of the spreadsheet or of the Word document that's embedded into OneNote. If I make a change on OneNote to this Word document, it's not going to change the original Word document. And conversely, if I change the original Word document, it will not change anything on OneNote. So these file attachments are not what I call interactive. A change to one does not change the other. That's important to keep in mind because a lot of people assume that if you change one, it's going to change the other. That is absolutely not the case. I mentioned earlier Excel files or spreadsheet files have a few more options available to them. We created a spreadsheet, and on this spreadsheet, we had some partnership ownership percentages on it. This spreadsheet we labeled as OneNote example. To illustrate it, we're going to add another page to the partnership client section and call it DEF partnership. With Excel, as I said, you've got a few more options. So click on the spreadsheet button on the insert menu, and you can either insert an existing Excel spreadsheet or a new Excel spreadsheet. We're going to pick an existing Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to select the one called OneNote example. Now, we have the option to either attach the file, insert a chart or table from it, or insert the actual spreadsheet. We've already seen what it looks like when you attach a file. Let's insert the spreadsheet. What we have now is we've got the interests for DEF partnership of partner 1, partner 2, and partner 3. Now we can edit this spreadsheet, and to edit it, just hover your cursor anywhere over the spreadsheet, and you see the edit icon appears on the top left corner. Click on the edit icon, and then you can edit whatever you want to edit on the spreadsheet. Let's assume that we actually made a mistake and partner 1 should have 60%, partner 2 is at 30%, and partner 3 is only at 10%. Click Save, and you can close out now the spreadsheet. And it is just updated in OneNote that partner 1 now has 60%, partner 2 has 30%, and partner 3 has 10%. Once again, this does not update the original spreadsheet. Changes in OneNote don't update the original spreadsheet, and changes to the original spreadsheet don't update OneNote. To confirm this for you, I'm going to get into Excel, and I'm going to pull up the original spreadsheet that we were using. You can see on the original spreadsheet we're using, partner 1 still has 50%, partner 2 has 30%, partner 3 has 20%. However, we updated OneNote to say that partner 1 has 60%, partner 2 has 30%, and partner 3 has 10%. When you're working with this, it's important to remember that these changes are not interactive. So if you make a change to a spreadsheet or another file in OneNote, it doesn't update the original file that you copied from. These are just copies of a file. Another thing you can do in OneNote is to create a new Excel spreadsheet. If we click here on this section of DEF Partnership and do the spreadsheet option, the spreadsheet button, we've got an option to create a new Excel spreadsheet. If we click on that, we've got a spreadsheet inserted, and once again we can edit it and just take some quick notes. We can say whatever we want to, but then that spreadsheet is ready to go. It's only saved in the OneNote application, but it's a great tool for a quick spreadsheet or just to jot down some ideas. Tables are a good tool for organizing ideas. Anything that lends itself to being arranged in rows and columns is a good candidate for a table. Assume that we wanted to quickly jot down the 3 partners' ownership percentages without using an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to stay on the same page, DEF Partnership, and click toward the bottom of the page, anywhere in the bottom. And then we are going to click on the Table command button in the Insert menu. It's going to ask us what the dimensions of the table are. Now, we just really need 3 columns and 2 rows because we're going to do partner 1, partner 2, partner 3, and then also do their ownership percentages. If we've got a 3x2 table and we're satisfied with that, we're just going to click. Now we've got a table ready to fill in. So if we wanted to quickly jot down that partner 1 and partner 2 and partner 3 has 60% of partner 1, 30% partner 2, and 10% partner 3, you can see a table can be a very good way to just jot this down very quickly in OneNote. You can, in OneNote, when you put in a table, you get the table layout options. So you can delete the table, you can insert rows above, you can insert rows below, you can insert columns left, insert columns right, you can shade, and then you've got text alignment options as well. And you can also convert it to an Excel spreadsheet if you so desire. OneNote also provides the option of handwritten notes. This is a lot easier if you've got a touch screen and a stylus. You can try to take handwritten notes with a mouse, but it's really just not practical. So if you want to quickly jot down a note without typing it, OneNote can do it. You go to the Draw menu option, and then you select a color and thickness that you want to use. Now you've got a number of these available to you, and you can scroll down the menu and see that you've got a lot of them. I am just going to pick the first one, which is a black pen, 35 millimeters. So I'm going to select that. And now, if I want to jot something down on the screen, and I do happen to have a touch screen, I'm going to write here that partner 1 controls. I'm using my finger, so it's not pretty. It doesn't look good, but sometimes you may need that in a pinch. You've also got some eraser options if you do make a mistake. So if you do want, you've got a small, a medium, a large eraser, or a stroke eraser. The small eraser is used if you really want to just eliminate certain errant things. See, I just erased that little dot there. The stroke eraser, you can erase the whole darn thing. OneNote does have a very, very interesting feature, and it's called ink to text. It's up here on the draw menu. It's toward the right-hand side, and it'll convert handwriting to text. Let's click on the command button of ink to text and see how it works. You can see it did a pretty good job with my sloppy handwriting. It got the word partner. The number 1 it didn't really get, and rather than controls, it interpreted as tontrols. If you've got a stylish or better handwriting, it would do a much better job. When you're done handwriting, you've got to go back from handwriting to type. And you do this with the button on the left-hand side of the draw menu called type. You click on type, and you're back to being able to use typewritten notes once again. It's important to remember, if you go to draw, when you're done drawing, you've got to go back to type. Once you've returned to type mode, you've got this incomplete ink to text sentence, partner something controls. Like everything else, this isn't a text box or a note box, or a note container, I should say. You can edit this. So right now, let's change this to the number 1. So we've got partner 1, and I can also edit that to say partner 1 controls. So we can fix any errors in the ink to text feature. You just need to select the note container and edit it yourself. If you like to take notes using flowcharts, OneNote can accommodate that too. In the draw menu, you'll see there's a shapes command box. Let's start with a quick flowchart. Let's first draw an operation box, and then we can insert a down arrow, and then we can also put in, say, a decision box. These flowchart shapes can have text placed in them to describe the operation or the decision. Let's say the operation is payroll check. And the decision might be something simple like, did the employee work? These are also in note containers, and they can be moved. The flowchart option is very nice, especially if you want to jot down a quick flowchart, or if that's the way you organize your thoughts. OneNote provides some tools that also help organize your notes. The first of these tools is you can color code your section tabs. You color code your section tab by selecting a tab and then right-clicking on it. You notice the option at the bottom is section color, and you can pick a new section color. Right now, the section called Partnership Clients is red chalk. We can make that into a lemon lime color if we wish. We can also pick the 1040 client section tab, right-click on it, pick a section color, and we can make that section purple if that's what we want. We also have an option to provide a pleasing background color on the pages. If you pick the View menu, there's a command button for page color. And these are the colors that you have available to you. The colors don't jump out at you, but you can pick different page colors as a background. So of John Doe, we can pick the color magenta. And now John Doe's page has a nice magenta color to it. Another great feature of OneNote is the ability to password protect a section. If you have sensitive information or if you share the notebook with other people, this password protection is critical. You can password protect only sections in OneNote. So if you've got confidential information on one page that requires password protection, the entire section containing that page has got to be password protected. There are a couple of items you've got to keep in mind when you're using password protection. The first is that the password protected sections may not be visible on all devices. So if your files are stored on OneDrive and you want to look at them using a smartphone or a tablet device, you may not be able to see them. The second is that the notes in the password protected sections must be unlocked before those notes can be searched. We mentioned that searching the notes is a powerful feature of OneNote. If you've got it password protected, you can't search those particular sections. There are two ways to password protect a section. The first is to go to the review menu and use the password command button. The second way is to go to the particular section tab, right-click, and use the option that says password protect this section. Either one of these methods arrive at the same password protection menu. If we wanted to protect the section called 1040 clients, right now it tells us that isn't password protected. We can set a password by clicking on this button, set password, and we can enter a password. I'm going to enter a very easy password called OneNote. And I'm going to confirm that password. And then click OK. It's going to ask me what I want to do with backups. The backups are not password protected. You're only password protecting things that are saved from this point forward. If you've got very critical information that might be saved in a backup, you would want to delete the existing backups. If you don't and you think the backups are more important, you'd want to keep the existing backups. I'm going to delete the existing backups. We're now password protected, but in order to engage password protection, you have got to click the Lock All button. So we're going to click Lock All, and now the section is password protected. So we can view Partnership Client section, but we cannot view the password protected 1040 client section. We have to either press Enter or click here to unlock it. We will click here. I'm going to enter the password, which is OneNote, and it's now unlocked. If we don't want a password protected anymore, we have the option to remove the password, and we have to type in the existing password, which once again is OneNote, and click OK, and the password is removed. The important thing to remember is that after you've set your password, you must click Lock All to engage the password. If you do not click Lock All, the section is not password protected. We're done with the password protection. We can close this dialog box out. Let's talk about deleting sections and pages. If you've got a page or a section you no longer want, it's very easy to delete them. On the for the sections, select the section tab, right-click on it, and you see you have the option to delete it. Click that option. We're not going to click it right now because we don't want to delete this section, just pointing out you have that option available. If you do not want a particular page, if you decided you no longer need it, you can select that page, right-click it, and you also have the option to delete that page. If you do happen to delete a page that you didn't want to delete, and let's just delete Sam Smith and say we did it accidentally, and you want to restore that, you can go back here to the undo feature and click undo, and Sam Smith has returned. OneNote provides page templates that can be used. These templates range from meeting notes to business templates to decorative templates and also planners. You can apply a template when a new page is created, or you can set a default template for all pages in the notebook section. If you go to the Insert Menu tab, and you can see the Page Template command button. If you click on that, you have some of the templates available. You can click on Page Templates and then see all the templates that are available. So under, say, Business Templates, you've got Project Overview, Simple Meeting Notes, Formal Meeting Notes. Under Planner Templates, you can see you've got a simple to-do list, a prioritized to-do list, and a project to-do list. We will add a simple to-do list as a template. We're going to close out the dialog box. You can see now we have a new page called To-Do List, and now we've already got a note container with to-do checkboxes. The templates can help you out greatly. I would encourage you to explore them and see if there are any that you can use while you're taking notes in your notebooks. We mentioned one of the key features of OneNote is the ability to search the notebook for keywords or words. The search box is in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. It's right here. When you click on it, you can enter in your keyword or words so you can find them. If you've got a very large notebook, this is a very important feature to help you find the notes you've taken. Let's search a notebook for the word employer. We have found one instance of the word employer, and it's on the page called John Doe. If I click on the search results, I'm taken to the page called John Doe, and we can see that we have the word employer on that particular page. That's the power of the search box, and it will help you greatly once again if you have a number of different pages and different sections and just want to find one note using a keyword or keywords. One of the features of OneNote is the ability to share a notebook with others. We said when you want to share it with others, you've got to use either OneDrive, which is Microsoft's cloud storage option, or you have to use a network. When we started this course, we elected to save the notebook on our personal computer. Because we did that, the notebook can't be shared interactively. So if we do want to share it, we need to move it to either OneDrive or a network location. The other advantage of using OneDrive is that you can access your OneNote notebooks with other devices. So you can access your OneNote notebooks with a smartphone, a tablet, or a laptop computer. To share your notebook is actually pretty simple. You go to the File menu, and on your notebook, which here is called OneNote Course, you go to Settings, and you can elect to pick Share or Move. It even tells you to share this notebook, you'll need to put it on OneDrive or SharePoint. SharePoint is Microsoft's networking option. You've got the notebook name already in there, and when you click on Move Notebook, it will move it, in this case, to OneDrive. Once you've moved it to OneDrive, you will then have the option of typing in email addresses of people with whom you want to share the notebook, And then once you've typed in their email address, you also have the option of telling OneNote whether you want them to be able to edit the notebook or just view the notebook. The other way you can share the notebook, and we're going to go back to show this. To go back, you just click this back arrow at the top left, is you can also use the share menu option, and you come to the same spot. It'll name the notebook, and then you just elect to move the notebook. We're going to click the back arrow to get back to the main screen. If you create a new notebook, once again, you would just elect to put it in OneDrive, name the notebook, create the notebook, and after you've created it, you'll have the option to type in the email addresses of the people with whom you want to share it, and then you'll be able to tell OneNote whether you want them to be able to edit it or to just view it. We'll click the back arrow to go back. The next option we want to talk about in OneNote are quick notes. Quick notes are intended to mimic the Post-it notes, the little yellow sticky notes, that a lot of people use to jot down quick ideas. You don't have to put quick notes in any notebook or in any section or any page, and you can access quick notes either when OneNote is running or OneNote is closed. When OneNote is running, you can access quick notes from the View menu tab, and in the command, there's a button here over to the right called a new quick note. Let's do that. Let's click on new quick note. And you have a little note container. In the note container, let's type something very quickly. Let's just say this is a quick note. Now we've got that written down, and it's just like a note page. But we do have a few options available to us. If you click the 4 little dots on the top of the note container, you see that you can now access the same basic menu tab options you have in OneNote. Once again, you've got the ribbon display option button. You can click that, and you can show the menu tabs or you can show the tabs and commands. I like seeing the tabs and commands, so I'm going to elect to put the tabs and commands on the quick note. Now, with these tabs and commands, you can format the quick note in the same manner you can format any OneNote note. When you're done with a quick note, you can just close it out. And then if you want to re-look at it, this is the way, this button here that's a notebook icon over on the left-hand side of the screen, you click that to view other notebooks. You can view the open notebooks you've got, but you can also view quick notes. You can see we have this one quick note in here we just created. And it says, this is a quick note. Once again, this is a great idea if you just want to take a note very quickly, you just want to jot something down, but you don't want to take the time to figure out where you should file the note. Let's navigate back to the course itself. If we wanted to now place the quick note somewhere, we can do that. We can go into quick notes and we can copy the entire note itself into the open notebook by highlighting it, selecting copy after right-clicking, and then navigating back to the OneNote course, selecting an area, right-clicking, and selecting paste. Now the quick note is on a page, and this page is John Doe under 1040 clients. Let's navigate back to quick notes. The other thing that we can do is if we want to insert the entire section into a notebook, we can right-click the quick note section tab. We can click move or copy, and then we can select where we want to move or copy the entire section tab. We can put it after partnership clients and select copy. When we navigate back to the OneNote course, our quick notes are now there and available for us. There's a difference between move and copy. If you move it, there will no longer be any tab or any note in Quick Notes. If you just copy it, it'll be both in your notebook and in the Quick Note partition. A shortcut for accessing Quick Notes when the OneNote application is open is to press the Windows key, which is the key on your keyboard with the Windows logo on it, plus the Alt key plus N. When you press these keys simultaneously, the Quick Notes window will open. Even if the OneNote application isn't open, you can still create a Quick Note. You do this by pressing the Windows key and then just N simultaneously, and Quick Notes will open. Right now, we've got the application open, so I'm going to press the Windows key, the Alt key, and the N. And I left it down a little bit too long because you can see I've got several Quick Notes that have opened. But it works both when the OneNote application is running and the OneNote application is not running. Notebooks may be opened and closed. Like other files, when a notebook is closed, it's got to be opened to edit it. You may want to close OneNote files to save space and to make navigating between notebooks easier. If you want to close a notebook, you go to the File menu tab option, and you find the course, and you see there's a button called Settings. Click the down arrow on Settings, and you see you can close the notebook. We're not going to close it right now because we still want to work with it. I'm going to click on the back arrow to return to the OneNote application. If you want to open a new notebook, simply click on File and click on Open, and you can select the file that you want to open. The last thing we want to talk about is printing notes in OneNote. You access the print option once again through the File menu tab. You go to Print, and you have the option to either print or to print preview. I like selecting print preview first. We have some print ranges. We can either print the current page we're on, or we can print a current section or a page group. When we've selected what we want to print, we can just hit print and print it. I'm going to select something that's got a little bit more on it. We'll go to the Partnership Clients section, and we'll hit File, Print. We'll do Print Preview. We'll select the current section, and you can see in the Print Preview that's what we have available to print in the current section. It's been noted that after you print using OneNote, the default printer setting may become Send to OneNote 2016. I don't know why this happens, but it's been a complaint of a lot of people. If it does happen, there are two paths you can take to fix it. The first is to go to Control Panel and choose Devices and Printers. And if your physical printer isn't the default printer, right-click on your physical printer and then click on that Set as Default Printer. The second way to fix it is to go to Settings from the Start menu, choose Devices, then choose Printers and Scanners. Click on your physical printer, and if the Set as Default button is not grayed out, it's dark, click on this button to set the physical printer as the default printer. If this button is grayed out and it's not dark, it's already your default printer. If OneNote continues to appear as your default printer and you don't ever intend to print to OneNote again, you can delete the Send to OneNote 2016 printer option. You do this through the control panel by right-clicking on the Send to OneNote 2016 printer icon and then selecting Remove Device. That's the end of the course. This information should provide enough skills to start taking and organizing notes with Microsoft OneNote. There are other tools available that aren't covered in this overview course. As you become more familiar with the application and experiment with some of the other menu commands, it's very likely you'll discover some other useful features for formatting and organizing your notes. Accompanying this course are review questions and answers to review questions that you should take a look at just to clarify your understanding of the content of the course. There is also an examination that accompanies the course. You'll need to take and pass this examination for course credit. Thanks very much for your attention.